Are we in a housing bubble and are home values gonna go down in the future? Hi, I'm Trey Dobie with Dobie Real Estate, and I want to address those questions with you today. We've been hearing a lot of people say, hey, we're going to buy a house in a couple years when home values go down. We've been hearing a lot of people say that we're in a housing bubble right now. If you look at national headlines, you look at CNBC, you may see statistics out there where inventory has increased by 50% in certain markets. We have been historically low on inventory across the entire United States. So if somewhere has maybe 3 weeks of inventory and they have a 50% increase in inventory over the last month, now they have 4.5 weeks of supply. A normal market is 6 months supply of homes. So that's 26 weeks. So we still have historically low amount of homes for sale. Now, if people are thinking about, hey, I'm gonna wait until the bubble bursts, I'm gonna wait until home values go down. We're fortunate here in the Midwest in that we don't see our property values skyrocket, and we don't typically see them go down significantly in value. In fact, over the last 20 years, there's only been 2 years where we've seen home value go down here in the Evansville, Southwest Indiana market. And one year was 2009, where we saw home values dip by 4%. The following year, they dipped by 2%. So they did dip, but it was very, very small amounts. Last year, we saw homes appreciate by 13%. The year before that, we saw homes appreciate by 9%. In fact, all the national experts, the major leaders in the real estate market and mortgage industry are forecasting homes to appreciate this year by somewhere around 7 to 15%. So all the experts are saying they're going to appreciate. In fact, over the next 3 years, these same experts are saying that they're going to appreciate from anywhere from 20 to 45%. Are we in a bubble? It's completely different than what we faced in 2005, 2006, 2007. At that time, there was a ton of homes for sale. Builders were building, they were overbuilding, there was a ton of inventory, and false demand was created by the mortgage situation. Lenders were giving out loans to people who could not afford a home. Ultimately, if they could fog a mirror, they could get pre-approved for a mortgage. And so there was a ton of supply, there was a ton of demand, and then people started to go into foreclosure. They couldn't make their payments on their houses anymore, and that increased the supply. We already had enough supply, and supply went through the roof. Right now, we don't have near enough supply, so we're in a much different market. There's very few foreclosures happening because so many people have so much value in their home that if they do get behind, they're ultimately selling their house, putting a large amount of equity into their pocket and buying a smaller house or going out and renting a home. So we're in a much, much different market. Do I think home values are gonna go down throughout the next few years? No, I do not. Do I think interest rates are gonna continue to rise? I do. In fact, we're starting to see the market do some unique things here locally, and I think if you're looking to sell, right now is the time to do it. Interest rates are going to continue to rise, and as interest rates rise, it's affecting affordability and it's pushing some buyers out of the market. As it pushes buyers out of the market, there's not as much demand. The good news is we still are very, very low on supply. So that's why I don't think we're going to see homes go down in value. We've only seen it 2 times in the last 20 years here locally. In fact, on a national trend from 1945 to 2022, there's been just 3 years where home values dropped, and that was in the mid-2000s. There's been some small drops, but never any major drops other than 2007, 2008. So if you're looking to buy a home, interest rates are more than likely going to go up, so it's the time to do it. So ultimately, if you think about buying or selling, right now is a really, really good time to do it, because as I stated, I don't hold a crystal ball. I can't tell you what the future is, but what I can tell you is I can look at history, and they say history oftentimes repeats itself. And if you look at the history, the trends, very few times do homes go down in value. Homes are a great way to build your net worth. So now is the time to take action if you're thinking about buying or selling. But if you do have any questions, it's going to vary, obviously, depending on your price point and where you're buying or selling at. So if you have questions around any of those topics, feel free to reach out to us. Give us a call, 812-777-4611. Again, I'm Trey with Dobie Real Estate, and I hope you have a great day.